Hello everyone, this is Money Mom. Welcome to the channel. Today I want to chat with you guys about 10 reasons why I think so many people are obese. Let's get started and talk about it. Before going over my list though, you guys know I'm not a doctor, not a nutritionist, not a scientist. Y'all know that I'm obese, and so I'm not picking on anybody, and this is just merely my opinion. Some of these may surprise you, and number two may be really a big surprise, but like I said, this is from my life experiences. First one, food availability. We just have food available to us at all times. When I was a young girl, you had to wait for dinner before you ate. You couldn't just go snack on something whenever you had a craving. You know, you ate your 3 square meals a day, and you had to wait. Every now and then you'd have a snack, but we were not big snackers. Number two, this is my big thing, and some of you may disagree. When I was young, okay, I was born in the 60s, it was not acceptable to be overweight. And there weren't that many clothing sizes available to you, especially as a teenager and young adult. So if you were really overweight, you may not get as stylish of clothes. Nowadays, you have a lot more availability, and it's more acceptable to be overweight than it is before. And I remember growing up, if you were, say, 5'4", you add 5 pounds to every inch that you are. So if you're 5'4", the doctor wanted you to weigh around 120. If you're 5'6", you could weigh around 130. You get at 5'8", you could weigh around 140. But if you were 5'4" and you weighed 140 pounds, the doctor would want you to lose at least 15 pounds and get down to 125. So it just was not acceptable. Nowadays, it is more acceptable to be overweight, and there's a lot more choices. And so back then, there just wasn't that many clothes and things to choose from, and it wasn't socially acceptable, you know, and that's kind of why I got bullied as a young girl. And you know what's really funny is when I look back, I wasn't even that big. I remember when I was in junior high, I was 5'3.5" and I weighed 138 pounds. It wasn't like I was morbidly obese, but I wore like a size 11, and I know if I would have gone up more, I might not have been able to find clothes, but all the other girls were a lot smaller than me. So it's more acceptable nowadays. Number three, this is huge. And hey, I love these drinks myself, so, you know, especially pumpkin spice. I think we're drinking a lot more of our calories than we used to. Growing up, I just got to drink water and then maybe milk at our meals. But we did not drink our calories. We didn't have, you know, fraps and lattes. And believe me, I love all the holiday flavors, and I love that stuff. But if you're eating your meals and drinking those things, that can add up, because even one of those can be the calories of a meal, okay? Another thing, we're eating out, or many people are eating out at restaurants much more often. The food has a lot of sodium, and also the portions can be bigger. But now with shrinkflation, that may not be the case, but still, you know what? You're eating this food that has, I notice I weigh more after I eat a restaurant meal, but we're eating out a lot more. Number five, and some of you are going to disagree with this one, and I understand if you do. I'm just sharing with what happens to me. Eating late. For example, it is right now September 3rd. I weighed myself this morning. I am down 28 pounds since May 1st. I'm eating once a day. I eat around 3 to 3:30. If I ate that same amount of food and ate at 9 p.m. at night, and I ate the same amount, some of you would say, Dawn, you'd still be down 28 pounds. No, I don't think I would. I would probably either gain or not lose at all. Eating late at night, for me, either I don't lose weight or I actually gain weight. I think many people eat late at night, which I do think can contribute to it. That's just my opinion. You may disagree with that. Some people say calories are calories, but that's what I think anyway. Okay, 6, portions. We have no idea how much we're eating, and with all the snack food and having food available all the time, and you're drinking these, you know, think about this. You get up in the morning and maybe you have a bowl of cereal and you have coffee with cream and sugar and whatever. Then maybe you go and you have some snacks before lunch and you have some trail mix, and then you eat your lunch, and then on the way home you get like a frappuccino, pumpkin spice, which I know I love them myself, and then you go out for dinner with friends at 8 o'clock at night. Imagine how many calories that is and how much sodium, fat, sugar. You would probably be shocked. Let me just say that. I know I am. Okay, and then bring me to number 7, snacks. We are snacking all the time, you know, and that's why for me, fasting is so much better. just eating the once a day, this is for me. But when we have a food available to us and all we do is snack, we have so many more snack choices in the stores. When I was growing up, you had a couple choices of these things. You didn't have, 50 different choices of cookies and chips and cakes. I mean, there's so many choices now. It is unbelievable. And what really kind of irks me a little bit, even though I like all this stuff, I love everything. I'm not a picky eater. I'm an opportunity eater. Is, advertisers are very smart. So what they'll do is they'll do things like, low sugar, or they'll put the word keto on it, high protein. And so people think if they're eating these snacks that it's healthy, okay? I'm not saying that it's not a better option than a saltier, more sugary snack. It might be. But if you're eating all of your meals and you're having those snacks on top of that, we may just have no idea how much we're eating. I mean, that's part of the reason that I'm obese, is because basically, you want to know why I'm obese? You're going to say, yeah, Dawn, duh, overeating. Well, it's because I was an eating machine, constantly eating all day and all night long. Whenever I wanted something that looked delicious, I threw it in my mouth. Whenever I wanted something delicious to drink, I drank it. And all this stuff was laden with tons of sugar, salt, and calories. Not that that's not okay to have a little treat, nothing wrong with that. But if you get up at, say, 9 a.m. and you go to bed at 2 a.m. and you're constantly eating and drinking from 9 a.m. to 2 a.m., your body never gets a break. Okay? And then you can't, who knows? We don't count all these calories. You just never know how much you're eating. This is from my experience, guys. I'm not saying you. I'm pointing the finger at myself here. Okay? Multitasking, I think, causes obesity while you're eating. Example, I see people driving down the road and they're probably rushing here or there and they're eating and they're drinking their, their coffee drink and things like that, and they're eating a burger or they're eating a breakfast sandwich and they're not really aware, or they're trying to eat and do things at the same time and they're not mindful of what they're eating and they're not concentrating on the food. They're paying attention to other things. I do think that not being mindful when you're eating is also a big thing. Number 9, also, we're not as physically active. For example, when I grew up, we did a lot more yard work. Now, so many things are done for us. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but we used to do a lot more physical work. We would walk more. We would do more things. Like when I was in France, there were tons of stairs. I don't remember ever seeing any escalators or elevators. So you had to climb the stairs. Imagine if all elevators and escalators were taken away, unless maybe you were in a wheelchair and you couldn't do this. That's number 1. Also, like instead of vacuuming, people will have floor type vacuums instead of having to push it themselves. We like things to be easy, so we're more sedentary. Last but not least, and I definitely think, my opinion is, I think, now is a little more stressful. We used to, when I was growing up, 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, we had more of a sense of community, people helping each other out. Now I think people are under a lot more stress. They're getting a lot less sleep. Growing up, you basically, once you graduated, if you graduated high school, maybe you had trade school, maybe you didn't, and you got a job, you pretty much stayed at that one job your whole life. You had a pension, you had good health care and insurances, you were paid a living wage, so you were not under as much stress. I think a lot of people are under a lot more financial stress and a lot of other kind of stress. And also, when social media can be fabulous and we learn so much, but some of it can be fear-based. Hey, no judgment towards anybody. Watch what serves you. Everybody do your own research. Everyone's different, okay? Because there's a lot of wonderful things out there to watch and educate ourselves with. But sometimes you can watch things, if you're prone to anxious thoughts, it may not be helpful. So you've got that, you've got stress, you've got people not being able to sleep, which might be attributed from all the caffeine from the energy drinks and the lattes, and you're eating all this food which doesn't really digest well. It's a whole big thing. These are the 10 reasons why I think we're so obese, and I know a lot of these have been true to me. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them have. I want to hear from you. Have I not mentioned something that you think has caused obesity? I know many of you may think hormonal and things like that. It could be a variety of reasons. Remember, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not walking in anyone's shoes. That's why I tell everybody, when it comes to your eating, finances, anything, always do your own research. You walk in your lane and do what's best for you. So that's all I have to say for now. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. I love you, appreciate you, and I hope to see you on tomorrow morning's video. Bye-bye now.